On April 13, 2026, the global economy hit a 21-mile stretch of salt water, and it completely stopped moving. It was a physical collapse that the world's leading analysts had been predicting for decades. We've spent the last 20 years building a world that feels post-geography. We assume cloud computing and artificial intelligence have finally detached global power from the physical map. But that entire system is anchored to the Strait of Hormuz. It's a sliver of ocean between Oman and Iran, so narrow that the distance between coastlines is less than a marathon. This map shows the reliance. Every day, a fifth of the world's oil funnels through this gap. Because the waters are shallow, supertankers are forced into a single-file line within a 2-mile shipping lane. This line moves directly past the coastlines of rival geopolitical powers, each of them monitoring every vessel that enters the lane. The safe passage of goods through this specific geographical anomaly is the one requirement for the digital economy to function. On April 13, 2026, the Trump administration moves to close the gap, issuing a direct order to blockade the strait. The immediate result is logistical paralysis. Thousands of tons of crude oil are suddenly frozen in place, unable to enter or exit the Gulf. With the supply line severed, global oil prices instantly surge past $100 a barrel. The shock hits the financial markets in seconds as traders realize the sheer scale of the energy deficit. We can't just sit here, reroute the tankers, tell them to go around. To go around, they have to clear the Cape of Good Hope. That adds thousands of miles to the trip, and we don't have the extra ships to cover the delay. What about the pipelines? We have infrastructure on land, use it. The pipelines are already at maximum capacity. They were never designed to absorb the entire volume of the strait. The global economy is running into a hard wall of physical mass and geography. The secondary effects follow immediately. Within the first week, natural gas supplies to Israel are completely cut off. As shipping companies attempt to find any available alternative, the pressure on the world's remaining trade routes causes the entire logistical network to slow to a crawl. This map shows the consequence of severing a single central node. The failure doesn't stay in the Middle East. It starves the entire interconnected global grid simultaneously. Attempts to reopen the strait are complicated by an immediate military gridlock, as international naval forces converge on the same narrow corridor. The blockade reveals the vulnerability of a global trade system that was optimized for speed, but built with no backup plan for a geographical shutdown. As the weeks pass, the immediate panic turns into a quiet, paralyzed reality. Without cheap energy, the cost of moving food and medicine begins to reshape everyday life. For decades, we invested trillions of dollars into a digital world, acting as if the physical terrain beneath our feet no longer mattered. This scale shows the ultimate paradox. We can spend $7 trillion on AI chips to solve the world's most complex digital problems, yet that investment is powerless against 21 miles of water. Artificial intelligence cannot create more crude oil, and financial engineering cannot shorten the distance around a continent. While the headlines focus on the geopolitical players, the actual cost of this oversight is carried by the everyday citizen. We built a century of progress on the assumption of infinite connectivity, only to realize the entire digital empire is plugged into a 21-mile puddle of water, and someone else holds the scissors.